Hello and welcome to Rauta's take on new Horna album. This one is the 10th full-length album, allegedly, called Kuoleman kirjo, which roughly translates something like diversity of death. Well, anything around those lines anyway. Released on 8th of December 2020. This is out on World Terror Committee. And it's a really, literally long one, being almost 70 minutes in total. 13 tracks, or 13 parts as the band calls it. This one is the first album of two newer members by the band. That being the drummer and the bass player who joined the band not too many years ago. And as those of who have been following the band already know, there has been a few windy spots in Horna lineup. Bass players, drummers, even the vocalists have been changed time to time, but there are a couple of things which you can pretty much count on when talking about Horna, and those are these two guys mentioned here doing the guitars, Shadrach and Infection. And Infection has been already part of the band for 18 years. Shadrach, then again, being the founding member of the band, the only one so far, or anymore, 26 years. That's quite a trip. Spellgoth might still feel as the new vocalist of the band, but he too has been in the band for a longer period than any other vocalist in the band. That is more than 10 years. And these two gentlemen also big part of the band, but still the newer parts. Now everything is this booklet here, as you can see, is in Finnish, which means that this is written by Shadrach and Infection. And basically the whole band has been part of the compositions. And then there is this recording information, images and all that stuff. And on the front cover of the booklet you will see the album title set in 13 parts. Kuoleman kirjo in 13 parts. This is Finnish black metal. Inside obviously you will find lyrics, which are interestingly, and in my opinion in a nicely way, black on white, which is kind of like the different when you compare the typical black metal ones in glossy paper having white on black. This is not glossy, and this is indeed black on white. In my opinion, good job creating this whole layout. Feels a little bit different and looks nice, feels nice. Some people don't care at all how an album looks like. I mean, what's the cover like, how it feels like in your hands. Me, being a fan of still physical releases, I just pay attention to these, and I get it, it's not everybody's business. But what I like is that when an album creates this certain kind of extra feeling to go with the music, well, it certainly adds to the overall feeling by the band and the release in question. So this is how it looks like. Like I said, digipack, twofold, quite basic in that, looking nice and all. Let's take a look at the band's Metal Archive site while I'll tell you a little bit more. Now, those of you who are indeed familiar with the band's past know that the band has been out quite a while and started in 1994 in Lappeenranta, which is one of the southern eastern parts in Finland, closer to Russian border. And Lappeenranta scene has clearly, played quite a big part in Finnish black metal scene. Horna being, I guess, the spearhead of the band. City. Heck, I don't know even what I'm saying here, it seems. And the band is mostly known for its massive amount of mini releases. And by mini releases, I mean EPs, splits, so forth. As you just scroll down the list, you will figure out it's kind of hard to get the full collection of Horna. And meanwhile, these EPs and whatever, there has been these full-length albums every now and then. And it has been 5 years since the previous album, Hengen Tulet, until we actually got to hear this album called Kuoleman kirjo. Kuoleman kirjo is indeed in 13 parts, and everything here is in Finnish, like it's the Horna style. And once again, if you take a look at the lineup, you will see that how it is nowadays and compared to the previous years. Once again, if you take a look at this full length, full list here, that is, you will see that these guys, all of them have other projects. These brothers essentially having their own projects like Trailheim. Venom is obviously known for many bands such as True Black Dawn, etc. Infection, obviously part of Ayataran, his own band Bythos. And then again, Shadrach having a million of bands, which we're not going to go through in this review. So what about the music of Kuoleman kirjo? Jerry, get to the point. Well, good news is, this is one of the best Horna albums ever. Hands down. In my opinion, one of the problems with Horna has been that it's been quite unstable. That is, they really don't do mediocre albums on all that, but hardly, in my opinion, they reach to the big heights. And fortunately for us fans of the band, I guess it could be safe to say, Kuoleman kirjo is one of the better albums. In my opinion, it's very, very well written. It's very well balanced. That is applying to both songwriting, individual riffs, compositions in general, and also the production. Now, it's definitely a good sounding album, but it doesn't go to the levels of so-called big band sound when it gets all too sterile and, you know, kind of a boring, even plastic-like. It's kind of a sharp, but still having this kind of a basic black metal feeling. While avoiding total rawness and primitive sound, it's not like any kind of plastic sounding. Yeah, I keep repeating myself, but I want to underline the fact this is very good in terms of how black metal albums could be sounding without sacrificing anything into the world of mainstream metal albums. Also, the vocals are really good. Then again, they're nothing unexpected unless you consider clean vocals to be part of that. And they play quite a big role on this album. My first two initial spins with the album, when I was listening to and the digital promo, was like, I was quite surprised how much clean vocals are there during the album. And I think it's kind of safe to say it's not overwhelming, it's not too much with that, but there are quite a lot of those. And in case you just happen to be allergic to clean vocals in black metal, embrace yourself. I mean, brace yourself for impact rather, because the thing here is they might require a little time to get used to. In my opinion, they fit well, but it's almost on the verge of having too much of them. Especially the last track, in my opinion, is the weakest one because it has this kind of a whiny way of repeating the line of the title, that Ota minut vastaan, like take me with you. And I don't know, there's something that kind of goes too far in my opinion, even though it's not a lengthy track, but it just feels too much repeating the same whiny pattern. But it's a minor flaw, really. It doesn't really ruin anything. Just saying, it's my opinion, it's the worst track. But still quite listenable, and everything else on this album is really, really enjoyable. So overall, it's a very strong album. Like I said, good production, good songwriting, good compositions, diverse enough to keep the interest throughout these 67 minutes or so. I don't know why it's here it says even 70 minutes, but at least my CD player was showing like 67 and then some seconds. I don't know if there's different versions out there and whatever, but that's how it goes. Anyway, it's easy to say it's roughly 70 minutes and that's it. So whether you're a new fan of a Horna band or an old fan, this is really, really good album to get into. One of those kind of albums, considering its December release, that it's like, hey, the albums of the year is being selected, run to the goal line and get selected as well. So definitely my recommendation goes to this one. During the time of doing this review, obviously there's only a couple of tracks available on the Bandcamp side, so you might not be able to hear the full album just yet. But wait for the 8th and it's all there. Now it's a good time to make your pre-orders while you still have the time. So check out either the label site or your favorite distro and go checking out some Horna. Really, really worth your money. Thank you for watching this review. Take care. See ya.